Welcome back, bookworms and AI enthusiasts. Get ready for another deep dive because today we're tackling How AI Will Transform Your Life by Patrick Dixon.
Sounds intense.
It is, but also fascinating. And you wanted to explore how AI will impact things like healthcare, education.
Even international relations.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
buckle up. This is going to be a wild ride.
What strikes me about Dixon is he's not just some tech guru.
Yeah, he's got this really diverse background.
Right, like former IT entrepreneur, cancer physician,
Futurist.
and he's designed AI systems himself.
That's crazy. So he's not just theorizing, he's got real-world experience.
Definitely gives him a unique perspective.
Okay, so Dixon jumps right in saying the AI revolution isn't coming. It's already here.
Big time.
And he says, super smart, AI is just a generation away.
That's both exciting and kind of terrifying, right?
Totally. I mean, what does it even mean for us?
Well, he doesn't sugarcoat the potential risks, but he also lays out some really optimistic scenarios.
Like in healthcare.
Especially in healthcare. He predicts AI could save millions of lives annually by 2030.
Millions.
Millions. Think faster diagnoses, personalized treatments.
Anti-aging breakthroughs.
All that.
That's huge. But then he brings up this cautionary tale.
About?
Babylon.
No.
That AI healthcare company that went bankrupt.
Oh, yeah, Babylon. What happened there?
I know, right? Seems like a classic case of hype exceeding reality.
Totally. They had this app. It's supposed to revolutionize healthcare.
Partnered with the NHS even.
Huge deal. But it just didn't deliver. Turns out the AI was good at triaging patients.
Like figuring out who needs urgent care.
Exactly. But not so good at actual diagnosis.
So doctors started noticing errors. And there were worries about patient safety.
It all just kind of unraveled. Makes you wonder, does this mean Dixon's skeptical about AI and healthcare altogether?
Well, not necessarily. He actually highlights a bunch of examples where AI is already making a positive impact.
Oh, like what?
There's research in Finland showing AI can be more accurate than human pathologists, diagnosing certain types of cancer. And some AI systems can analyze chest x-rays super fast.
Like in seconds.
Yeah, something that used to take weeks.
It's mind-blowing, but even with those successes, I can see why the Babylon story is a wake-up call.
Absolutely. Integrating AI into something as complex as healthcare is going to be bumpy.
For sure. We can't just throw AI at a problem and expect miracles.
Definitely. Careful planning,
Yeah.
testing, oversight.
Especially when people's lives are at stake.
Okay, so healthcare is one thing, but Dixon also talks about how AI will revolutionize education.
For everyone, not just kids.
He's really focused on adult education, too.
Right. He predicts a massive shift as AI changes practically every job.
He says 1 billion jobs will be impacted.
Requiring new skills, new training.
And he sees online platforms exploding, offering everything from AI-specific training to career change guidance.
Makes sense. People will need to adapt.
Totally, to stay relevant. But what about kids, though?
The younger generation.
Yeah, how does AI factor into their education? This is where I get a little nervous.
Dixon gets it. He's particularly worried about AI's impact on kids growing up immersed in social media.
Oh, I see where he's going with this.
Right. He cites these stats from the UK, like 12% of 12 to 15-year-olds are on social media for over 3 hours a day.
Wow. And those teens are twice as likely to have mental health issues.
Compared to kids who aren't online as much.
Those numbers are definitely worrying. Is he directly blaming social media, though?
Not solely, but he highlights how AI plays a role. Think about it. Algorithms curate our feeds.
AI creates targeted content.
And all that can be used to exploit vulnerabilities, especially in young people.
That's a really good point. It's not just the time spent online, but the content itself and how AI manipulates it.
Exactly. So Dixon is calling for schools to get proactive, to address the ethics of AI in the classroom.
Teach critical thinking, how to evaluate information online.
How algorithms work, all of that.
It's like AI is forcing us to rethink the purpose of education.
It's not just about memorizing facts anymore.
It's about navigating this complex digital world.
Where AI is calling the shots. And that brings us to another issue Dixon tackles, the truth wars. He's saying with AI, it'll be nearly impossible to tell what's real and what's fake.
Oh man, this is something I think about a lot. We're already drowning in misinformation. Fake news is everywhere.
And AI is going to make it worse.
Way worse. Dixon predicts AI-generated fake news will be so sophisticated, so widespread.
It'll erode trust in institutions.
Fuel conspiracy theory.
Maybe even lead to violence.
And this is already happening.
To some extent.
Think about all the misinformation about the pandemic.
The election conspiracies.
All that stuff. A lot of it is already driven by AI. Targeted ads, algorithms pushing certain content.
It's scary to think how much worse it could get.
Seriously. And Dixon gives these crazy examples of conspiracy theories that are already gaining traction.
Like what?
People believing that COVID vaccines are tracking devices or mind control.
It's wild how easily people believe this stuff.
I know, even without solid evidence.
That's the power of misinformation, especially when it preys on our fears. And AI will make it even easier to spread those narratives on a massive scale.
Okay, so what can we do about it? Any way to fight back against this AI-powered fake news tidal wave?
Dixon suggests a few things, both for individuals and governments.
Like
Developing critical thinking skills, being skeptical of sources, seeking out diverse perspectives.
sounds like good advice in general.
Right. And he says governments need to invest in media literacy programs, hold social media platforms accountable for spreading misinformation.
That's a tall order.
It's a challenge, for sure. But Dixon's not saying give in to fear. He wants us to be proactive, engage with AI, understand its limits, and figure out how to use it for good.
So it's about recognizing the threat but not letting it paralyze us.
Exactly. And one area where we have a lot of agency is in the job market. People are terrified of AI taking all the jobs.
Yeah, robots stealing our jobs. That's the big fear.
And Dixon gets it. But he points out that history often tells a different story. Remember 25 years ago, everyone freaked out about the internet killing jobs?
Yeah, mass unemployment predictions.
But that's not what happened.
So are you saying we've got nothing to worry about?
Yeah.
AI won't lead to job losses?
Not quite. There will be jobs loss to automation, displaced by AI. But Dixon says new jobs will also pop up, just like during the internet boom. The key is adapting, focusing on skills that'll be in demand in the future.
So it's not about resisting AI entirely, but figuring out how to work alongside it.
Totally. Leverage its capabilities. He even suggests AI might create more jobs than it eliminates.
Really?
But in different sectors, of course. So it's about asking what skills will be valuable in an AI-driven world.
Okay, so what kind of jobs? What does that future job market even look like?
He doesn't get into specifics about job titles, but he points to sectors like healthcare,
Makes sense.
data analysis, cybersecurity. Those are likely to grow. And he stresses transferable skills, things like critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity.
Creativity. That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought of that as a key skill in an AI world.
And that leads us to another topic Dixon explores, the future of creativity itself. He argues that AI will be huge in film and music. Like, imagine AI creating hyper-realistic avatars of actors.
Whoa, hold on. Are you saying we could have movies starring AI versions of dead actors?
It's possible. Dixon even describes his own experiment, creating an AI clone of himself as a keynote speaker.
Seriously?
Yeah, he trained an AI video maker with samples of his speeches.
Yeah.
The result was pretty convincing, a digital clone that could give speeches on different topics.
That's both cool and a little creepy. But does Dixon think AI can actually replace human creativity?
That's where it gets philosophical. He questions whether AI can replicate the emotional depth, the originality of human artists. AI can mimic and generate, but...
There's something unique about human creativity.
Exactly. That special spark. Dixon seems to believe that's irreplaceable.
I gotta admit, I'm kind of relieved to hear that. I was starting to worry about artists becoming obsolete.
I get it. But Dixon's view is more nuanced. He sees AI as a tool to augment human creativity, not replace it.
Okay, so we've covered healthcare, education, misinformation, the job market, and even creativity. What else is there?
Well, Dixon raises a big concern. AI's energy dilemma. All those powerful AI systems, they guzzle energy.
And that could worsen climate change.
It's a trade-off to think about.
Yeah.
Dixon gives these crazy figures, like ChatGPT uses as much energy as 33,000 U.S. households.
No way. So are we doomed to fry the planet with AI?
Dixon's not entirely pessimistic. He thinks AI can also be a tool for sustainability.
Oh, interesting. How?
Well, AI can optimize energy grids, develop renewable energy sources, even improve water management.
So it's a double-edged sword, really.
Right. Both risks and opportunities. And speaking of complex issues, Dixon saves one of the most thought-provoking for last: AI in government.
Hold on. AI in government, what does that even mean?
He predicts AI will gradually gain power, influence within governments, maybe even making life or death decisions about citizens.
Whoa, that sounds like a sci-fi dystopia. Is he saying AI could be in charge of our laws, our lives?
It sounds far-fetched, but Dixon gives this chilling scenario. Imagine an AI system linked to law enforcement databases, constantly analyzing data, predicting crime.
Okay, I'm listening.
Now, this AI flags someone as high risk, likely to commit a serious crime, but this person hasn't actually done anything wrong yet.
Okay, this is getting a bit scary. So what happens? Does the AI arrest them preemptively?
It gets more complex. Dixon says this AI might even have access to other systems. Autopilot in self-driving cars, medical devices.
Oh no, you mean the AI could use those to harm this person?
It's disturbing, but it highlights the dangers of giving AI too much power. Dixon uses this to raise questions about AI's authority, the need for human oversight.
This is making me rethink AI completely. It's not just about cool gadgets and algorithms anymore.
It's about how AI will shape society, laws, even our own lives.
Heavy stuff. But before we spiral, remember Dixon's also excited about AI's creative potential. Like his experiment with the AI clone. He talks about the future of film and music too, right?
Absolutely. He thinks AI could change the game. He predicts AI will be able to generate these incredibly realistic avatars of actors, allowing them to perform in films even after they're gone.
So theoretically, we could have a new Humphrey Bogart movie. Or a young Marlon Brando acting with a current star.
Precisely. The possibilities are mind-blowing, and it's not just about bringing back old stars. AI could create entirely new virtual actors, tailored to specific roles or genres.
I wonder how that would change acting as a profession. Would we even need human actors anymore?
That's the big question, isn't it? Dixon thinks AI will change acting, for sure. But human actors won't disappear. There will always be a need for authenticity, for that emotional depth that human actors bring.
That makes sense. Even if AI can create a perfect replica, it's not the same as a real human embodying a character. What about music? How does AI fit in there?
Dixon's fascinated by that too. He says AI will be able to compose original music in any style you can imagine, generate lyrics, produce entire albums that sound like specific artists.
Wait, are you serious? AI could write a new Taylor Swift song or a lost Beatles track.
That's the idea. He even predicts AI-generated classical pieces that sound like they were composed by Beethoven or Mozart.
Wow, that would really shake up the music world. Would those even be considered real art? Who would own the copyright?
Those are the questions Dixon wants us to grapple with. What defines creativity and originality in the age of AI? He even touches on personalized music. AI creating music tailored to your individual taste.
A custom soundtrack for your life. Sounds amazing, but also kind of creepy. What about musicians, though? Will they all be out of work?
Dixon believes AI will disrupt the industry. But just like with acting, human musicians won't become obsolete. He thinks AI will be a tool, something musicians use to enhance their creative process, experiment with new sounds, reach wider audiences.
So it's about collaboration, using AI to enhance human creativity, not replace it. But it sounds like AI's impact is going to be everywhere. What about shopping, travel, even our food supply?
Dixon talks about it all. He sees AI changing how we consume everything. Online shopping will become super personalized.
I can see that.
AI algorithms recommending stuff based on your purchases, browsing history, even social media.
Like AI will know what we want before we do. That's convenient, but also a little creepy, like Big Brother watching.
It's the privacy dilemma. Dixon acknowledges that. But AI can also protect us from fraud and identity theft. So it's about balance, convenience versus security.
Seems like a recurring theme. AI is powerful, can be used for good or for bad. It's up to us to decide how we use it. What about travel?
Buckle up. He predicts AI will revolutionize travel, make it easier, faster, more personal. Imagine an AI travel agent. It knows your budget, preferences, travel style, and books everything for you.
No more endless hours of research, I'm sold. What about self-driving cars, planes? Part of his vision.
Oh, absolutely. Autonomous vehicles are inevitable, according to Dixon, driven by AI. He even predicts self-flying planes in a few decades.
Wow, that's a little much for me. But it's amazing how AI could transform the whole travel experience. What about food? How does AI impact what we eat?
He's got a whole chapter on that, full of surprises. He predicts AI optimizing crop yields, reducing food waste, even creating new, healthier foods.
So AI could help solve world hunger. That's encouraging. How would that even work?
He describes AI-powered sensors and drones monitoring crops, identifying pests, diseases, optimizing irrigation. AI can even analyze consumer data, predict food trends, and create personalized nutrition plans.
This is starting to sound like science fiction.
But that's the point, right? The future is closer than we think, and AI is at the forefront.
Okay, so AI in creativity, consumerism. But Dixon also delves into some darker areas, like AI in warfare.
Definitely. That's one of the biggest risks he talks about. AI becoming more integrated into military systems, leading to autonomous weapons, machines making life or death decisions without humans.
That's straight out of a Terminator movie. Are we really heading towards robot wars?
It's a possibility. And Dixon discusses the ethical implications. He also highlights cyber warfare, AI disrupting infrastructure, destabilizing countries.
All of this feels really overwhelming. So much potential, but also so many risks. Where do we even begin to deal with this?
It's the big question. Dixon doesn't offer easy answers. He urges us to talk about it. Have a serious conversation about the future of AI. Think about ethics, regulations, individual responsibility.
It's not just about the tech itself, but about our values, our choices. It sounds like he wants a global discussion on AI and its implications.
Absolutely. Individuals, businesses, governments working together to ensure AI benefits humanity, not the other way around.
Okay, so AI in creativity, consumerism, warfare, and even government. What about the future of work? That's what everyone wants to know. Are robots taking over?
Right, the big question. Dixon devotes a whole chapter to that, and he's surprisingly optimistic. He acknowledges AI will automate tasks, displace jobs, but it will also create new opportunities, lead to a more fulfilling work experience for many.
So it's not the robots steal our jobs apocalypse.
Not exactly. Dixon thinks AI will free us from the boring, repetitive stuff, letting us focus on creative, strategic, fulfilling work. He even suggests a shorter work week, more leisure time.
Sounds pretty good to me. But what about those who lose their jobs to AI?
He argues for retraining programs to help workers adapt to the changing job market and stresses lifelong learning, developing skills that complement AI, critical thinking, problem solving, emotional intelligence.
So it's not about resisting AI, but learning to work with it.
Exactly. Leverage its strengths to enhance our own productivity and well-being. Dixon thinks AI can create a better world, more prosperous and equitable, but only if we're thoughtful and responsible.
Okay, we've covered a lot, from creativity to consumerism, warfare, government, even the future of work. What's the main message Dixon wants us to take away from all this?
It's both a warning and a call to action. A warning about the dangers of reckless AI development, but also a call to embrace its potential for good. Engage with AI, shape its development, ensure it creates a better future for everyone.
A powerful message. AI is going to change the world, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's up to us to make those changes positive. It's like you saying we need to be active participants, not just watching AI happen, but shaping how it unfolds. So looking at all this, what do you think you need to do differently knowing AI is going to be this massive force in your life?
It's a question Dixon wants us all to ask, right? For me, I think it's definitely about getting more digitally literate. Like, I can't just be a passive consumer of technology anymore. I need to really understand these algorithms, how to evaluate information online critically, how to protect my own data.
I'm right there with you. It's like we need to become more informed digital citizens, not just users clicking around. It also makes me think about my career. With AI reshaping the job market so much, what skills should I even be focusing on to stay ahead of the curve, to be adaptable?
Dixon talks a lot about that. He really stresses those skills AI can't easily replicate.
Like,
Critical thinking, creativity, complex problem solving, emotional intelligence, those human strengths. And it's not just learning new technical skills, it's about being a lifelong learner, being adaptable to whatever comes next.
it almost feels like we're entering a new renaissance, where human creativity and ingenuity will be even more valuable. But with all this talk about AI's potential, the good and the bad, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. I mean, where do we even begin to make sense of such a transformative force?
Well, Dixon reminds us that we're not powerless. We have choices. As individuals, communities, a global society, he wants us to get involved in the conversation about AI.
To demand ethical development.
Push for responsible regulation from governments. Be active participants in shaping this future.
It's about making sure AI serves us, not the other way around.
Yeah.
And it starts with being informed
Engaged.
and willing to ask the tough questions.
Exactly. It's about choosing to create the future we want, not just letting it happen. It's a challenge.
But also an incredible opportunity.
Totally.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Dixie's book, what's the one thing you want our listeners to walk away thinking about?
Well, Dixon ends with a powerful line. He says, "The future is not something that happens to us. It is something we create." And I think that's really the core of it. This isn't just about AI. It's about our choices, our values, our vision for what we want the future to be. We have the power to shape this technology, but it's up to us to use that power wisely.
That's a perfect note to end on.
This has been an incredible conversation, and I hope everyone listening feels inspired to think critically about AI and their role in shaping its future. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure you subscribe to our channel for more books and banter. We've got tons of fascinating discussions coming up, covering everything from the latest sci-fi novels to thought-provoking nonfiction like Dixon's book. Until next time, happy reading.